They're now firing pepper spray.
Pepper spray, riots, and arrests. We begin with tonight's big story. Phoenix police releasing its final report on how officers handled the presidential protest this past summer.
ABC 15 going straight to the top to get answers for you. Jason Valentine joins us live. And Jason, Chief Williams with a lot to say tonight.
Yeah, despite the clashes between some protesters and police, Chief Jerry Williams saying there were no deaths, nobody seriously injured, and no damage to the convention center here or any of the other properties. So that's a success, but admitting for the first time things were not perfect that night, and the ACLU saying that admission in and of itself is not enough.
The night President Trump came to town in August looked a little like a war zone.
Things happened very rapidly on the ground that day.
In the heat of the moment that night, Chief Jerry Williams said people should have realized police were about to use force to disperse the crowd.
I'm not certain if they were verbally warned.
Now she admits communication could have been better.
And in my police brain, almost 30 years of police service that I have, when I see people lined up in riot gear, that tells me that things can progress and go one way.
Something bad could happen.
But what I learned is that not every community member thinks that way.
The ACLU says simply realizing that is not enough.
And it doesn't answer the question, the basic question about how they're going to train officers to prevent this from happening. It creates a chilling effect, and it means that people are going to be really worried when they go out to the next protest.
Meantime, Chief Williams says the entire police response was aimed at just a handful of people identified as the group Antifa, throwing things at police and trying to tear down barricades. The protesters throwing gas prompted police to do the same.
Why not just go arrest those 15 or 20 people?
So most of them ran, to be honest with you, at the end of the event. But when we think about optics of policing, the optics of officers going hands-on with anyone in that crowd without us being sure and having probable cause to arrest, that's not a good optic.
Now, there were 5 arrests that night. Chief Williams says they're already working on educating people about police responses in situations like what happened that night and developing a better communication plan for events like that, which would probably include something like text messages and social media. Live in Phoenix tonight, I'm Jason Valentine, ABC 15, Arizona.
Let's take those lessons, make sure this is not repeated again. Thanks so much, Jason.